Okay, we're gonna pick up here where the computer crashed and left us off at some 20 minutes ago or so. So as you got my dish, my cleaner. Haven't really done nothing. Had to piss with the computer and get it going. Got my coffee, my kettle ends. So I'm gonna take a little time. We'll pop these little screws out here, and I will continue with cleaning up this diff. And I've got some Kraken RC 500,000 weight silicone diff oil, and that's what I'll be putting in my diffs. Probably pick up some 300,000 and 250,000 to have a little bit of option for later. But most everybody I see, if they're not running a locked, which makes it really tough sometimes to control without a lot of tweaking and a good finger, which I have a decent finger, but it can really mess things up. So before you clean off your bearings and stuff with alcohol, or I'm sorry, your gears and stuff with alcohol, you want to remove all your bearings, because you don't want to clean out any of the lubrication inside your bearings. Even though I'm replacing these stockers with the fast Eddies, these are brand new quality bearings. I'm sure Proline isn't using junk. So you want to take your bearings out. I'm going to set these aside over here because I'll store them in the Fast Eddies bag so I know what they came out of. Boy, bearings come off can be a pain occasionally. Nice to have just a little small flathead to help entice them. Wiggle them up and get them coming. Work it around, slide it in the edges. Those in there. Those out. Almost sound like a Canadian saying out. Trick is getting them up high enough to get to the inside race and start tweaking it upwards. So anyways, I was kind of mentioning earlier, before we were so rudely crashed upon by my computer. There it is. And as you can see, there's, okay, let's take a look here. Alright, so they got the gears. Let's see here. I'll put that right in there for now, just for the moment. As you see, got your diff gears and your cross pins. These little washers, shims, are on the ends of each. They didn't fall, they fell off these two, but they're still on a couple of them, these two, and they're still on these two. So make sure those go back in there. Pop that out. You in there. No bearing, just a spacer piece in there, it looks like. Aha. No, no bearings, just a red O-ring. All right. So we need to clean these off a bit. There's no bearings in that. So the first thing I'm going to do, grab a couple of paper towels, and we'll just kind of wipe down as much as we can some on the fingers already. Helps if you can smear out and take off some of that. Cleanup's a little bit easier. This is really pretty thick grease, so the alcohol, rubbing alcohol, doesn't do bad. Get this up just a little bit more in the backside here. So I have sometimes an issue reaching far enough so you guys can see really well up there. Of course, I could probably, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not. Well, maybe not. We're going to give something a try here. I'm going to see if I can, no, I'm not going to be able to. Let's see if there's I don't think I got a controller here. Pop out chat, participants. Let's see what we got in there. Nobody. Looking to see if I can get in and control my camera here. Don't look like it. I was going to try to zoom it in a little bit. I got to do that beforehand. Set it up to do that. So I'm just kind of flattening and wiping up all this grease in these parts for now. I'll take the rubbing alcohol and help scrub up all these pieces, get them clean of the grease. Let's try to wipe these out as good as possible for the moment. There's the other O-ring. That'll be fine. Those up for a moment. Those things over. Get some stuff there to clean up. Let's see. Okay, I'm just kind of right now tentatively wiping all this stuff off. There's a little bit of oil on this thing too, from the lubrication from manufacturing. It's good to get all that stuff wiped off. Now the greasiest two parts, the two little diff gear setups. Let's go ahead and slide these puppies right off the post. Smear it and try to clean it up good. And there. It's always good when you're doing your oils and your diffs, especially to keep them smooth and not having issues, is to do a really good clean job whenever you're changing your diff fluids. Even if you're going with the same fluid, if I like a maintenance this piece, and later on I have to open it up and swap out the diff fluid, 5,000 weight won't last a long time before it breaks down, but it will degrade. It'll pick up impurities as the gears spin. They'll finite off a little bit of material that will be stuck in the diff oils, and they'll get gray and nasty. And so it's good to maintenance and change your oils. But before you put new oil in, even if you're using the same stuff, it's worth the time to take and go through a really good clean job. This is the diff pin on the inside. Let me kind of bring it up here. You'll see it's kind of small when I hold it up in my fingers. I get a good hold on it here. Very small. Got a fairly thin piece in there. cutout where the two cross pin bars mesh together. All right, so all kind of cleaned up there. Another washer, bring that over here. Clean that on a cleaner spot with a towel. Okay, throw that one away. A little bit of rubbing alcohol. Fingers cleaned up a little bit. Take and scrub them off with the brush lightly. Clean everything up pretty decently. This is just, I think, 91%. It's not the greatest. Yeah, I'd prefer 99 for many things, like when I'm making my cannabis oils. Actually, I don't use it ISO for that per se, except for like a topical solution. You don't want to ingest anything that's made with isopropyl alcohol. The reason it's isopropyl alcohol and not just quote unquote alcohol is a couple reasons. First and foremost, it's because it's normal alcohol. It's just grain alcohol, watered down, which is why it's 91%, not 100%. But being isopropic, it's been treated. Because it's grain alcohol, you could literally buy it and drink it. Now think about this, ladies and gentlemen, for a minute. You can buy almost 99% pure isopropic alcohol. That's 99% alcohol with 1% water. And if it wasn't treated, just like drinking White Lightning, you could tip that bottle back and get drunk, and you will. If you tip that bottle back, you will get drunk. But because it's isopropyl alcohol, you will also get sicker than a dog. Because pretty much it's got, I don't know exactly what the chemical is in it or the substance in it is. Okay. It's pretty much got a poison in it. It's not seriously poison. It's like ipecac. It'll make you puke. And so for 99 cents, you can buy almost 200 proof alcohol, 99%, it's like 180 proof, but it's got poison in it for 99 cents. 180 proof alcohol for 99 cents. But yet you go to the store and want to buy some 180 proof rum. It's about 25 bucks a bottle. So you got 180 proof isopropyl alcohol with basically something that'll make you puke, like ipecac, mixed into it. That's why it's isopropyl, so you can't drink it without puking it all back out. Because otherwise, you can just buy isopropyl alcohol and get drunk. But no, you got to go buy the Jim Beam or the Carol Ann's or anything else, which is, 10, 15, 20 bucks a bottle. Compared to 99 cents or $1.99 for isopropyl. And why is that? Well, there's only one reason why that is, ladies and gentlemen, and that is government legislation. And that is the only reason why that's 99 cents or $1.99 at basically this stuff's like 150 proof at 91%. But nonetheless, it's got poison in it, but that's why, something make you throw out. That's why it's 99 cents. And the White Lightning is, 40 bucks a mason jar. The legal White Lightning is 40 bucks a mason jar. So yes, this is what it is. That is government at work. So if you're wondering why you're poor, why you have no money, 99.9% of the time it's because you got bad spending habits. But that ain't exactly true. What I'm going to say is half the time is because we've got bad spending habits, and the other half the time is because government legislation has been passed that most people do not know about, do not understand, are not even aware it exists, and therefore are clueless as to why their lives are so much harder than it needs to be. See, my alcohol is evaporating here. See, it's got a little color to it. It's from all the grease already wiped out. Put a little bit more in there until I'm done. Making a mess there. Go ahead and put some more in there. Get a better rinse here. Yeah, legislation is a wonderful thing. Screws everybody up. And purposely. They say rules for me, or rules for thee, not for me. Clean these up and set them down. Rinse that off at the top because it's got smuts all over it. Some residues on there. I want to get all of that crap out of there because I'm going to replace the grease on the outside of the dip with some good marine grease that I've got. So cleaned up, set aside. Hopefully this thing don't crash again now. At least until I'm done and get it all fixed up. It's been starting to do this about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Computer's crashing and makes a little, because the sound gets stuck and that causes a crash. It could be the video card because it does use video card thing, and I've got a really inexpensive type card, and that's probably mostly what it is. My actual good card went to hell on me, and I just bought a couple cheapies because I wasn't doing anything video demanding really. YouTube stuff, a little bit of this stuff, so don't make much, but I'm gonna have to buy some better cards. That. One more gear here. Clean it up. At least one more gear there. Now take this apart. Washers off. Pop the bearings out. Clean that. Drop that in there. Where did you come from? Spacer there. Come off that. And that's one of the tricks when you're taking things apart. I should have probably put them in here and did them one at a time so I knew which piece that come off of, but I'm pretty sure it's off my input shaft there. On this side, we'll space it. It sits in the slot. Okay, that's all the moving parts. Let's get this bearing out. Two, 3, 4, 5. I think that's it. Looks like you get an extra one with the fast eddies, which is hey, cool. An extra one of the small ones. Looks like it takes 2 of the larger size bearings here. And 3 of the smaller ones to do the actual build here. Then get that bearing out. That one's covered, so it's going to be a little tricky to get out of this one. How do you get this bearing out, boys and girls? There it is. There's the 6 there. Okay. Now, so you don't get an extra bearing. There's 6 of them. 2 in the cases. And 4 in the diff build itself, it appears. Okay. That. Take those, soak up a little oil. Clean up my hands a little bit. Grease on them. So there you go. You're all clean. You're all good. Got all your grease off. I'll set this aside over here. Put the alcohol back over there. These pieces here. A couple little spacers and screws that were in the transmission. I'm assuming that's for mounting. Not positive, but I presume. Crack it, get through it open. And then, of course, just like cleaning out your old grease and old stuff, you want to make sure you get all your alcohol out, though it will evaporate. This is 91%, so it does have some water in there. And you don't want any water in your build. See, well, all of it to evaporate and clean it up good. Wipe everything out. I'm kind of anal about this stuff. So you don't have to do that much if you don't want to, but if you want to make sure things are good and hopefully have no failures or have a better idea of what the failure could be, it's good to go through your stuff and understand how it operates properly. So when it's not operating properly, you can diagnose the issues. Okay. So, wiping these things down a little bit. Cases I'm going to let dry. Come on now. Sliding on me. Trying to run away. Okay. This is just time consuming, tedious kind of stuff. I'm trying to help make sure I got all the rubbing alcohol and any water residues left behind from the rubbing alcohol out. Any grease residues gone. You're probably always going to have a little bit. You're maybe never ever going to get it completely clean, but nonetheless. The cleaner it is, the less contamination you have, the better chance of no failures you have. And another reason to drop all your stuff into a cup is when little things like this little black round spacer does come off, you know it's in there. And at least you know what come out of some of those parts. maybe not which one. More importantly, you don't lose it. You don't fall off the workspace. Just needs to be wiped up a little bit because this is on the outside and the regular gear stuff. Okay, so just go ahead. These got to keep drying a bit. They're close. Go ahead and try to work a little bit of that in there, get a little bit of the stuff out. This side opened up and let it air out. Evaporate out the rest of the stuff. There's quite a bit on the inside still. A little bit of grease, a little bit of oil, a little bit of isopropyl. Ow. Okay, so in the corners in here, so I'll leave it up this side up in the air and let her air out some more and dry up. Some crannies up underneath the housing here. Nice thing about ISO is once you do kind of wipe it out, get rid of the liquid stuff, it evaporates really quick. So I'll get done wiping this out, and by the time I've got the other stuff basically ready to go back together, this will all be dried up and evaporated and clean. But I'm going to give it a good clean, try to wipe out all that crap and all the old grease that's still laying around. They didn't have much in here. And like I say, when I put marine grease in it, I'm going to grease it out well. And that's just your, of course, 3 inner gear bearings. Or, sorry, inner gears. They get grease just so they roll smoothly and stay lubricated. Don't need a lot. You don't want so much that you add in resistance. And this is a drag tranny after all. So, but you want it running smooth. And why these stock bearings are nice, they are not ceramic. There's another bonus with the ceramic as well. And that is the fact that ceramics are lighter than the normal bearings. So let me show you what I mean here. You know, normal bearings are steel hardened, hardened dense steel, so they don't dent, and they're quite a heavy little thing. So let me grab my little scale in here if I can reach it. Okay, there it is. Ah, there it is. There it is. So, out here and turn her on. I'm just going to take this one bearing. Whoop. Clean the surface well. And I don't know how well, you can kind of see that says 00 there. That on there, 3.2 grams. Hard to see your side, but it's 3.2 grams for the stock Proline bearing on the outside of the diff case. Let's see, they should be white lighter. They're supposed to be. 3.0 grams. So the stock bearing, that's a 0 right here. Stock is 3.2. Fast Eddies is 2.8 now. Let me enter that again and double check. Because that's 4 grams. And there's 3. 3. Well, that was 2.8. That 1. Okay. 3.0 grams. So let me 0.2 grams less. And if that holds true all the way through, that's about a gram. So it is a lot lighter. But when you're racing, as they say, every ounce counts. So in these smaller cars, every gram counts. I'm just going to wipe these down, try to make sure I get off any grease residue, because that will add a little bit of weight over the bearings. Put those off for a minute and get them cleaned up. You'll see exactly what the weight difference is, because I can, and we're here and I'm not going anywhere for a while, at least tonight. We'll see what they look like. Too bad, I'm getting too much residue or crap off them, a little bit here and there. Alright, so that's the last one from the stock bearings. So the stock Proline bearings all 6 of them, sliding all over the place. Okay, all 6 of them are 12.4 grams. And all 6 of the Fast Eddy bearings in the Proline transmission, come here, don't go running away, are 11.4 grams, 1 complete gram less. So not much of a change, but enough that it will add up when you're talking, when you're weighing your vehicles by grams, which many of these guys do. Gram scale them right out. That's only 1 gram, but you're also increasing, or you're also gaining the smoother and faster resistance of the ceramic bearings. So you're lighter, your bearings will roll faster and smoother. So that's the biggest thing, and that's the second big. Now that's the biggest thing of ceramic bearings, is how much smoother they roll, how much less resistance is in the bearing, therefore faster rotation ability, less problems in that rotation, less heat buildup because there's less resistance, and that all equals to smoother operation, more RPM ability or capability, as well as the less resistance and less weight. So the more ceramic bearings you use, the more weight you'll save, the less resistance you'll have on the system, and therefore the better it should perform. I think this went on the end like that. Okay, now let's go in like this. That goes on there, and these big one goes on the back, and then this actually goes in here, so that's where I'll put it, and that still needs to be wiped out, so I'll wait, put this other one together. Okay. I hear the meanderings of what sounds like the race baiter. Must be the movie the old lady's watching though. By race baiter, I mean Al Sharpton. The Reverend Al Sharpton. He's no reverend. He may have got a more self-ordained, but the boy is no reverend. All right, so let's go ahead and try to get the rest of the stuff out of here. Okay. Let that air out for a few moments. I'm going to take these stock bearings, slide them back on my fast Eddy package, give it a seal, and set it aside. So, we're going to let this thing air up a bit and finish drying out. These are like this. And of course, when I defluid it up, it will help these things stick together better, not be a problem, not want to slide apart, come off. So you got your gears in the middle with your little washers on the outside. Pull that back out a tad, put it close to its position. So your two flats in the middle of your cross pins mesh out. And by mesh out, I mean they go together and mesh together. Boy, got a lot of gap in there. Holy cow, they really got those things cut wide. Usually those things are cut pretty tight, so there's just enough cut gap to allow the pins just to go together, the cross pins. But these suckers are pretty tight. Let me see. Looks like there's still some grease in here, so I'm going to take my slightly damp brush here and just try to clean out the rest of this. And it's still damp. Okay. One goes there. That one goes there. What's this? So now, just about at the point where it's time to slide this puppy back together. Now when you're putting your spring case on, there's a little button ridge you can see right there. I need to get a little better shot of it. This thing's kind of screwy. I want to focus on the back. Let's do it this way. Give it no choice but to focus on this. Come on. But anyways, that little shoulder sets into the spring. Now I had 11 turns off. Let me find out where it catches here. Right there. So I'm going to put it there. And we'll put this in the same spot I had it, like right about there. And we'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's pretty much where it was, 11 turns. So we will leave it at 11 turns. Nice and snug, doesn't slide out. I'll paste around there again. Okay. Now let's go ahead and slip our big bearings into our other side of our case halves. Nice and smooth. And now slip our ends into our pieces. I need this little O-ring right there. Make sure that O-ring is in there, seated well. There you go. And then your axle gear goes in there and slides in. Make sure you got your pieces on there. And now we can take our cross pins. I want to set them one in first. Doesn't matter which one goes in first, but just make sure you, when you get them in there, clean. The schmutz is off. I had a little bit left there. You make sure your little washers are on the ends of the gears. Hold it up straight, slide one in, and ensure that your flat side is sticking straight up. Push your gears out to the edge, sticking straight up, just like that. Then your other one, again, make sure your washer spacers are on. This one's going to slide in, but your notch is going to be straight down and clean. A little schmutz in there still. Wipe it out. Washer. Shim. Whichever it is. Probably a shim more than anything. You put your cross slot down. And slide it into place. Gears in there. And then just kind of hold it right there, and you should be able to just spin to one side. Now comes the fun part. Okay, it's nice and smooth, and it dropped out. Where do those ones go? Ah, wasn't there. Oh boy. Where did these two go? Bear with me a moment. Looks like I dropped. Yep. Make sure you don't drop them. That's exactly what I did. They fell right off. Okay. That's what they do. I just missed these two and they popped right off on me. Don't lose your washers. Most shims keep everything tight and rocking. Okay, now we're all good. I can actually slide this into place here. In, seated well. That top a little bit. Okay. Now, again, this is Kraken silicone oil, 500,000 K. They get their oil out of Japan, so it's a quality oil, not out of China. Fluid. She's some thick stuff. Now, try to give myself a clean instrument here. Just going to use my flathead screwdriver, small little one. Clean her up a tad. I missed that one too. That one fell off the other side. Gotta make sure these little washes, they like dropping off. Make sure they don't drop them. Okay. Wipe this down. Any impurities and crap off it. This is some thick oil. Let her drop down. And let me see. I thought I had my knife handy here. Yeah, there it is. Serious is some thick, snotty silicone dip oil. Thing is, you do want to fill it as much as you can. If you can, you don't want any air in your diff oil. You do want to kind of get it in there. Sometimes heat can work. Sometimes you just start pushing and mixing. Turning the wheels, I'm kind of pushing it in. Of course, this is moving up a little bit. A little bit more. Kind of string it up almost like you would a cotton candy. Really thick. And this might be a little too much, but I don't think so. Don't think it's going to be that much. Okay. Kind of find which pin's on top, push it down, and then spin your stuff in. When you're doing this, you can work it back and forth a little bit, but I always try to turn it the same way to help fill in all those little corners. Push your wheels, corner cross pin down, put it in there, spin it a little more, drag that oil in there. Get that snotty, thick ass crap in there, all the corners as full as you can. If you want to lock that diff up, almost. Not quite lock it, but you want her full. As you can see, I'll get in here and block some of this stuff. You can see the better. It's actually not bad. Very thick, bubbling up on top. All the corners are filling out. You give it a little spin. And that helps turn those gears, which pulls the oil down inside until it pushes the gears up and it stops spinning. Then you just reseat your post, stick it back in there, give it another turn, get about half, 3/4, maybe one full turn, they come up. Just pushing it upwards, so you just want to kind of work it, let it set, work it, let it set. And that's pretty much what you do. I think that's pretty full. It's got a little bubble over top. Now this side's got to push in there, so it's going to have to come in and push that other crap out of the way. Peel back a little bit here. This is where the screw hole is at. Not that it's a big issue, but you don't want your screw holes all full. You want to kind of pull it back a little bit. Okay, we're going to plow this baby together. And we'll move until it slips into place. Squeeze it together, getting a little bit of, oh, are you kidding me? Damn it. My gear fell off. Because I didn't have anything on it. Back together. What a mess I got going on now. One of the problems. Pushing extra fluid out. By hand basically first. Make sure they get into the threads well. You might have to do a little in and out and cleaning to get this done. Because that fluid's thick. You gotta push any excess fluid out of those thread holes. Make sure you get everything tight. So you may have to pull a screw out or two, wipe off all the threads to try to get the oil out of it. Put it back in, seat it, pull it back out. Don't over tighten. You're all in plastic. Right now you're just working to push the extra fluid out. You get that out, and it doesn't seem like there's too much in there because they do seem to go in and feel like they're seating pretty decently. Okay. Now that I've got silicone oil all over the outside of this case, which I didn't want, I have to clean it up again. I'm going to have to do a dry clean, basically, which is basically just grab yourself a paper towel and start wiping. Clean this crap up as much as I can. Okay. Oh, goodness. What I'm going to do here, what I'm calling dry clean, kind of a dry clean. You don't want it getting all in there. You don't want alcohol inside that. You just want to kind of brush it out, and I'm just taking it and brushing it into the screw areas and trying to wipe out all that external diff fluid I got. Okay. Now this is the real kicker. I'm gonna hold this gear tight. You can't, almost can't turn it. Put it in here. Then do your spin. Wow. That is thick. Okay. Just test fitting. Make sure everything's going together before I grease it. Go ahead and actually put it together this way. Those things are in there right. Not quite right. This is my little hang up right here. I need to get that into its position here, I believe. A little. Don't go there. No, sure don't. Of course, I'm that. That's the problem. Now, let's see what happens. There we go. That's better. Okay. And now, big one went on the bottom. Go ahead and get these back in. That one went there. And that one goes there. Put the screws back in here. Get these two back in. One long one. Okay. Side, yeah, this is that side. Down the bottom. There, that one goes in there. This one goes all the way through the case and then screws into the blue motor plate here. Small too. A little whooped out at the end. Very whooped out at the end. Yeah, that was the better fitting one. The metric and standard, and I think it's the standard one. The other one's metric, so it didn't quite fit and slipped a little bit. I don't think so. This one goes down there. That one comes up here. Because that screw, I think, goes in there. That's what it is. Yeah, that one don't even touch. There. That one goes to that. This actually may end up coming off because if I have mid-motor, that won't even be on there. And I think I will. I think it will be mid-motoring, so this wheelie bar piece will be coming off. Well, actually, no, it probably won't, because the more I think about it, this will probably be going on the low center of gravity slash, slash bandit build. Now it's already built. It's the used one I bought secondhand. Pretty nice rig for the price I paid. It's got all the good stuff on it. It's already got a converted stock tranny with RPM tranny case, and I need the RPM tranny case because both the drag chassis I have to run mid-motor are set up to use off the stock setup, and the RPM because it's got a few other parts to do with the arms, making sure the arms are straight. So do that. So this probably end up going on that, which it will use the wheelie bar in the back. That one up a little bit more. Okay. Ooh, that's smooth. Oh, it's tight. That's going to lock up and smoother than silk. And that's pretty much it. That is what it takes to swap the bearings, which really isn't a hard thing to do, obviously. Obviously not a hard thing at all. But that's pretty much what's done. Put these two top or clear coat screws back on for now. And there, through another hour and a half, plus the original half hour, 33 minutes. There we go. Pro Line Pro Series 32 pitch transmission for the Traxxas Slash, Bandit, Stampede, Rustler. That is also being heavily used in no prep drag racing. That is what this will be for. Like I say, I've got two chassis, purpose-built specific, drag specific built chassis that I'm going to be building into two different no prep drags. They're probably both going to get mid-motor mounts, but one of them will do mid-motor or rear motor. So this is probably going to go on the low center gravity Slash, just because to do the other two, they're set up to work with stock Slash case, and I think there's a slight difference in this, so I don't know that I'll be able to use it, but I'm going to double check. But I think I'll have to use this on the LCG Slash, and then take the tranny and LCG Slash. It has a hot racing locker in it. I may take the locker out, put a diff back into it with some 500,000, but we'll see how it does. I'll put it in there and install it into the one kit, probably as it is with the hot racing locker, and we'll see what it does. But that's it. Pro Line Pro Series 32. Oops, this goes in there. There we go. 32 spur pitch transmission with brand new fast Eddy ceramic bearings installed and ready to go. There, I'll go on there like that. So if you come across and see this and were wondering what you needed to do, that's pretty much what you need to do. It's not a hard build. Obviously, pretty easy. Take it apart, clean it up, put your bearings into there, do what you're going to do with your diff, lock it up, fill it up with some oil version, whatever you prefer. Like I say, a lot of people seem to be either not running a locker, they're at 200,000, 250,000, 300,000, 500,000 weight diff fluid. And I put 500,000 in because that seems to be the most common. I'll pick up some 300,000, 250,000 to change it out. But there we are. That's pretty much what you need to do. Thank you all for joining me. If you're catching this later, like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. And as I grow, I'll be able to do more. Thanks a lot. You guys have a great night.